you my vote.
Court is in session with Ryan in Sacktown on If You Don't Like That. Now, Ryan in Sacktown.
Oh, must be Ryno.
Good evening. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the weekend officially. I think Friday is part of the weekend once you're out of school, especially if you're in elementary school, middle school, whatever. You get my tune. Coming down off of 60 points from De'Aaron Fox. I can only imagine how the team feels, how De'Aaron feels. I'm still kind of coming down from last night. I know a lot of you are too. I've been looking at the activity on X. It is not going to get any easier tonight. No Domas. No Domas, no DeMar, no Malik for the Kings. Utah will be without Walker Kessler. Lauri Markkanen will be giving it a go. He has been upgraded to available. We'll talk about it on the other side. Coach Brown calling for Kevin Huerter, Keon, guys like that to step up tonight in his pregame press conference. We've got it on the other side for you. It's the pregame show, Kings Jazz, right here on If You Don't Like That.
Late nights on the screen, hey, it's Grant and Ryan. We bleed purple, talking hoops, never lying. Sacramento Kings, we rise and we fall. If you don't like that, then you don't know ball. Jerry sitting with the stories of the game, spilling all the truth, driving legends insane. From the Cow Palace days to Arco's roar, this town's heart beats on the hardwood floor. If you don't like that, turn away now. Kings in our blood, we ride strong and proud. Running up the score, Kings never back down. If you don't like that, this ain't your town.
And welcome back in Ryan in Sacktown with you. Hope you're having a great night. Chat's already popping. We'll get you in a second. It's the pregame show, Kings Jazz tonight, coming to you from the G1C. A rarity. This never happens. How many times in Domas' career here in Sacramento, he is out with lower back tightness. No DeMar DeRozan as well. So the Kings well undermanned. Utah team that normal night Kings should beat, but Utah coming off of a win against Dallas. We'll talk about that one here in a little bit. But look, this is a tough game. I'm sorry. I hate to throw it to you straight. This is going to be a hard game for the Kings tonight. There's not really any keys besides the staples of what the Kings do. Energy is the biggest thing. Don't turn the ball over. Give yourself a chance, but you are severely undermanned. While there is some good things happening in the pipeline, not there yet for the Kings. Still got what they ride or have to ride with what they have on the bench. So it is all hands on deck for them. So welcome in. We've got full coverage in tonight for you. I don't know why I said that. Full coverage tonight of the game for you right here on the channel. We've got audio from last night. De'Aaron, man, oh man. Best single performance in Sacramento Kings history. Crazy to think about that. Crazy. Might be the only time we see that in our lifetime. 60 points. I hope not. That means team gets better. But what a special night for De'Aaron. Some of the audio after the game, some funny stuff, some cool stuff, and some team stuff. He said he would trade it in. He would trade the 60 for the dub. And I know a lot of you feel that way as well. But regardless, I'm taking the positive from it. The Kings played such good defense in the third quarter, in the fourth quarter specifically. That stretch of basketball was incredible. They held him to one triple in the fourth quarter, and then overtime period comes off the tracks, and they hit 3 triples, the Minnesota Timberwolves, in that period. I don't know. I can't imagine what it's like to play in a game like that, but we've seen some of the issues with the Kings and getting out of rhythm so far early on in this season. When you've got one guy cooking like that, those dudes on the court, although they're professionals, they're human too. They are in awe of what they are seeing. I've got to imagine it affects your game to a degree. Now, I'm not making excuses. They had a chance to win. Coach Brown should have had a challenge in his back pocket. De'Aaron talked about that play a little bit, not the Coach Brown side of it, but the Keon play was 16.8 seconds left on the clock. But regardless, it's out the window. You got to focus on Utah tonight and know that you are just like a lot of the NBA right now, dealing with injuries. Teams that have injuries like the Kings have tonight, they have still been getting it done. So the Kings need to hop on that train and do it as well. Dennis kicking off the chat. So, of course, I took the Kings minus 9.5. Some places have like injury insurance, Dennis. I mean, here's what I would say. Don't gamble what you can't afford to lose. I mean, not saying that you're putting that out there. And by the way, really quick, I know this is a Kings pregame show, but if you're one of those knuckleheads that is bitching about the result of the fight last night, and you're like, oh, Jake Paul, man, he took it easy on Tyson at the end. I had a knockout in the 8th round. The gooba gooba goo. You are an idiot if you are one of those complete people complaining. That was nothing more, although it was sanctioned by the state for the purpose of betting, but that was nothing more than an exhibition. If you expected anything but that and some love at the end, stupid. Anyways, good night for Netflix, though. 60 million households. Holy crap. DeMar isn't playing. Laurie will play. Yes, he will. Said that at the top. Adam was up at 4 a.m. yesterday. Tip-off wasn't until 9 my time. Fell asleep before. Dude, go back and catch the replay. Catch the, what do they call it? The condensed clip. Or I'm sure somebody on YouTube has De'Aaron all 60 of his points. It was magic. It was incredible. And it was the best version of De'Aaron Fox. In fact, I said it on the post-game show last night. I retweeted it out this morning. I'm giving it to you right here. I gave it to you last night. It's called the Fox formula. I have created it. When De'Aaron's assists are right around his three-point attempts, and last night doesn't count really because he was on such a heater, but even his three-point attempts last night, really, really small compared to the amount of points he scored. In fact, this was De'Aaron's shot chart last night. Look at this. Look at him lighting it up. Look at all that green inside the paint. But anyways, getting back to the Fox formula. When assists are in the same neighborhood as three-point attempts, I think that is the best version of De'Aaron Fox. It means he's getting downhill, and it means the ball is usually moving or the team's getting to the free throw line. So I'm going to make some T-shirts. Fox formula. I don't know. Maybe I need a better name. Put your suggestions in there. But hell of a shot chart for him. Here was De'Aaron last night. His thoughts on the 60-point performance.
Just making a point of emphasis on keep touching the paint. Obviously, I shot 10 threes, but besides maybe the last two, I felt like all of them were open. So just continuing to try to touch the paint. Obviously, I have one of the best shot blockers to ever play the game, but if he's not stepping up my floater, you shoot it. If he does step up, we get dump offs. If they start to help, I kick it out. So I don't know how many times I touched the paint tonight, but it was for sure a lot.
De'Aaron.
Johnny, I don't believe O-Rob has been recalled. I was going to talk about him later in the show. He had a really good game in Stockton. Really good game last night. An excellent game, I should say. But we'll talk about him in a little bit. But no, as far as I know, he is not with the team. Could be wrong there. Dennis, run some plays and stay with the hot hand. Don't go away from like you did last. Well, okay, but there's a balance there, Dennis. And, De'Aaron, in fact, let's go to cut 3. So De'Aaron was asked if he had let Keegan, because, they'd go back and forth about Keegan's 47-point game and it being more than Foxy's. and, Keegan giving him a hard time. So the question was, did you let Keegan know that you scored 60 points? Here's what De'Aaron had to say.
And I would have loved to get this win, obviously.
Excuse me, cut 4.
I mean, that's not even the highest that we've scored, but I think in the first,
wrong cuts, too many De'Aarons. Hopefully this is it.
gotta walk past his locker to come up here. So, but he was like, "But we lost." I said, if you would have shot the fucking ball, we would have been fine right there. But yeah.
I don't disagree with De'Aaron, but that is tough though. When you are in the midst of a game like that, it becomes an ISO game. It becomes put the ball in his hands, but then at some point you got to walk it back. If you've got the entire team crashing on you, you've got to spray it and you've got to move the ball, and then you've got somebody that's panicking because you're in a pressure situation and they haven't touched the ball in 10 possessions, 12 possessions. They've been looking, they've been admiring, they've been playing their asses off on defense. Don't take that for granted. What they did on defense last night was impeccable. I take as much away from the defensive end last night as I do from De'Aaron's offensive game. They drove Minnesota off of the 3-point line. De'Aaron talked about that after the game as well. Here's what De'Aaron had to say.
I mean, that's not even the highest that we've scored, but I think in the first, from 12 minutes to 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they only scored 4 points. So I think that's where we really made it a game. Like if you can go half the quarter and they've made 2 baskets, you put yourself in a great position to win. And I think for us, I think where we really hurt ourselves was when we had the 5-on-4 when Julius's shoe came off and we come up in that possession empty. Those are the little things that definitely hurt you. And I think after that, we kind of lost a little bit of momentum.
Hey, Fox, first off, did you mention to Keegan that you finally passed his 47?
I did. I got to walk past his locker.
Not looking good. I agree, Cody, but good thing is you got the Jazz in. Now they've got a little bit of rest, but last night wasn't looking good either. We did not have the Kings making that a game. I didn't, at least, especially once we got into the second quarter. Do the minutes worry you? Does the second night of a back-to-back worry you? Certainly. But they played with a lot of energy last night. They played scrappy. And I saw a couple minutes ago here in the comments, somebody said Mason Jones. I don't disagree. I think if you are going to go to the end of your bench tonight, I am going Mason Jones over Colby Jones. I want to see if can't believe I just said Mike Jones. If Coach Brown is able to or think about making that adjustment, because I would throw Mason in. Why not? Colby's not done anything. In fact, I think Colby struggled a lot of this preseason and up until now. BJ hopping back in, use the shot clock and try to stay away from a track meet. Utah is not going to want to get into a track meet, but what they are going to want to do is shoot a lot of threes. Look, everything that the Utah Jazz does, it doesn't equal good basketball for the most part. Now, can they score in spurts? Yes, absolutely. Their defense is horrendous. It is horrendous. They are the worst team at avoiding block shots in the NBA. So take that for what it is with no Domas, but you're going to have some Alex Len in there. You're certainly going to have some Trey Lyles in there. What else are they terrible at? Steals. They allow their opponents to get the most steals in the NBA. 30th in the NBA. So a lot of these things, 27th, they allow the ball movement. They don't like to sit down and play defense. This is the type of Kings team tonight that is going to have the ball movement. Unless you have Foxy go for 40 again, 50, 60. I don't see that happening. Certainly Foxy needs to probably be 30 or more for the Kings to win this game. But if you get similar ball movement and you have a shot chart from De'Aaron Fox that looks similar to this, look at all that green in the paint. And I'm not even mentioning how much he got to the free throw line. You're going to make Utah's job tough. And if you make their job tough on the defensive end, they're going to rush things on the offensive end. Utah will chuck up a ton of three-pointers. And one guy that has been a problem child for the Kings, since we're talking about Utah, why don't we throw their numbers up for you? You can learn a little bit more about them as we kick it around. One guy that's been a big problem child for the Kings in the last couple of meetings is John Collins. He dominated inside off the bench last game, and it wasn't nearly enough for them to beat the Kings, but he has played some pretty good basketball against the Kings, so the Kings are going to have a little bit of a better answer for him tonight. Definitely expect a little bit of zone defense. That will not surprise me. You got to watch out for that weak side offensive rebound, but Utah does not offensive rebound very well. In fact, if I look at actually 7th in the NBA, take that back. They do a decent job of offensive rebounding, but they are without Walker Kessler tonight. No Walker Kessler for them. Lowry, he likes to play predominantly on the perimeter. However, he will crash here and there. So the Kings are going to have to find a body. And damn it, Coach Brown, hold your challenges. Hold your challenge until the second half this game. You're going to probably need it. I expect this one to come down to the wire. Here's De'Aaron again last night.
And I would love to get this win, obviously. I would have rather us get the rebound in the fourth and won the game there and not even have gotten to 60. So, of course, I wanted to get the win. But obviously, at the end of the day, like that type of, performance, that type of accomplishment is nothing to, just breathe over and let it go. But, yeah, it's definitely cool. But obviously, I definitely wanted to get the win.
No doubt the Kings wanted that win, needed that win. They were in no position to get that win at the start of the third quarter. Minnesota came out and absolutely blazed them out of the locker room, but yet they fought, they grinded. I talked about attrition at halftime. If you kept making Minnesota work on both ends, eventually you were going to wear them down because they're predominantly, again, a jump shooting team. That's why the 3-ball is pretty much everything that they do in terms of their stars. And it ended up working out. BJ bringing back the fight, saying that wasn't boxing. I'm glad Paul showed some respect. Yeah, I felt bad for Tyson, man. He couldn't, and I get it. He made $20 million. So yeah, it wasn't boxing. It was an exhibition. But I will say this, Jake Paul, in my opinion, is keeping boxing relevant. If you don't have Jake Paul, who actually works really hard at his game, and I think he's gotten a lot better, but if you don't have him in the mix and making up some of these fights that put attention back on boxing just for a night, 60 million households, then where's boxing at, right? So I think it was a good thing overall. I hope Mike doesn't fight again. I really hope he doesn't fight again. Adam, let's see. I woke up again at 4 p.m. and saw that dude, what's up with you waking up at 4 o'clock, my man? If Iron Mike had legs, he would have punished Jake Paul. You know what I would have been doing? I would have been putting in my applications in advance to be a part of the ring crew. Breaking down that ring, I would have been on my hands and knees looking for diamonds. Oh, no shame in my game. Dude's wearing $1 million of diamonds in the ring? Hell no. You know a few of those fell off. You just take one of those, make a really nice wedding ring, right? No? Maybe. Frog, tonight we'll just see how deep the Kings are. Go Kings. I agree. And look, that's why tonight's post-game show or pregame show, it's a little bit different because there really aren't keys to this game other than take care of the ball, bring as much energy as you can to the game, and try to keep the pace high. I mean, we can go through what Utah does. In fact, why don't we throw up the Western Conference for you? At least the top of it, you can see what everybody is doing right now in the West. But, as I look at what Utah does, I'm just going to go straight down the line for you guys. Field goal percentage, 28th in the NBA. 3-point percentage, 23rd in the NBA. 3-point attempts, 15th. So they like to take a few. 2-point attempts, 22nd in the NBA. 2-point percentage, 23rd in the NBA. They shoot free throws pretty well. They are 9th in the NBA in that percentage. They are 5th at getting to the line. So you got to play physical without fouling tonight. Now, not having Walker Kessler, that is going to help the Kings. But John Collins, I mentioned his name before. He has been a little bit of a problem. Offensive rebounding, they are 7th in the NBA. Defensive rebounding, 18th. Assists, 23rd. What's that tell you? They don't move the ball. It's a lot of isolation. In fact, tonight you are going to see a lot of pick and roll. And the Kings did an excellent job last night. And I mean that. An excellent job in the second half with the pick and roll. They did great pushing the Timberwolves off of the three-point line and forcing them to take hard shots. And Utah, I can promise you, does not have the shot makers that Minnesota has. They don't. Now, Larry, he's a great player, but they do not have an Anthony Edwards, but they will like to grind you up and spread you out on the perimeter. So when I was talking about Mason Jones, I think Mason is better than Colby at getting through screens. So not saying we're going to go that deep or Coach Brown's going to go that deep, but I don't know. I don't know that I have faith that Jordan McLaughlin is going to be able to string together 3 games in a row where he's getting a decent amount of minutes and playing okay, just for this simple fact. Dude is on the floor all the time. He is not very balanced when it comes to the defensive end of the court. And so you might need a guy like a Keon, a guy like a Mason that is a little bit more powerful and that can get through the damn screen. Communication is going to be big. Kevin Huerter is going to have to be able to create some of his own looks tonight, because that is what you are dealing with. For all intents and purposes for the Kings tonight, here is their stats on the season if you want to check those out. The Kings tonight have no creators. They have one creator in De'Aaron Fox. You have one creator on the roster tonight, a true creator on the available roster. Most everybody else on this team that's going to be playing, they're finishers. So you're going to have to, if you're Mike Brown, this is where you probably draw up a few, or you don't even have to draw them up. You call a few more plays. You get a little bit more structured because you don't have as many playmakers available to you tonight or on the bench. Your 4 playmakers, 3 are out right now. And De'Aaron, coming off of the night that he came off of, and it's funny, he said last night that he was not any more tired than he would be from a normal game, which is probably partially because the starters have been playing such heavy minutes this season. Here was Coach Brown after last night's game. Oh, that's still De'Aaron. Where is my Coach Brown clip? My producer, if you want to apply for producer of this show, you just let me know. We are accepting new applications. Here is Coach Brown.
Tell you what, man, when he wants to get to his spot, whether that's to the rim or right inside the paint, there's nobody that can stop him. He's that good. He's freaking the fastest guy in the league. He's strong. He's long. He's athletic. He's got a really good feel. And this guy, I keep saying this on both ends of the floor, the sky's the limit for him.
The sky is the limit indeed for De'Aaron. I think this other clip is Coach Brown. Let me double check.
That's a team that's physical.
This is De'Aaron.
Obviously, they're a young team, so they don't have anything to lose. They go out there, they play hard. They play as hard as anybody in the league. So we can't dwell on this game. We have to be better in back-to-backs. I don't think we want a back-to-back this year yet. So you can't look at that team like they're just going to lay down, because that team comes out and they play defense, they rebound, they offensive rebound, they do everything in the hustle stats well, and they're continuing to grow.
Johnny, Scal is not going to be coming up. Scal is with Stockton for Stockton. He is not with Stockton for the possibility of coming back to Sacramento. I know he was in training camp. Part of that was a numbers game because of injuries. And also part of that, I think, was out of respect for Scal for what he's doing in Stockton. He is playing such an important role down there for a lot of the younger players. He is the steady veteran that he is. And please don't take this out of context. He is the quote unquote Domas down in Stockton. He is not the Domas to the entire G League, but he's the guy that you can count on every single night for certain things. So it won't be Scal. It's going to be O-Rob, Orlando Robinson at some point. My guess is probably sooner rather than later is headed back here to Sacramento. I will ask around. In fact, if you want to talk about the night really quick he had in their last win, in fact, they swept Salt Lake City. They played them 2 times in a row. O-Rob had a hell of a game. Remember, he just got down in Stockton a couple of days ago. Orlando went for, check this out, 24 points. Not too bad. Oh, excuse me. Do you have 26? 26 points. He was 5 of 5 from the free throw line. So that's in line with what Sac does. 2 of 6 from beyond the arc. 8 of 15 from the floor in 32 minutes. Also, he gave you 6 rebounds, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and how many blocks? He only turned the ball over 1 time. He gives you 1 block or steal. So, O-Rob will be here at some point. It is just a matter of when. So again, Kings and the Jazz tonight, we are counting you down to that. Remember the last meeting in Utah, the Kings ended up winning that one. Now the Kings lost to the Jazz in the preseason. That was kind of the Kings dress rehearsal. The last game, which was on 10/29, 113-96, Sacramento got the victory. They let the Jazz linger up until the half, and then remember Lauri Markkanen did not return because of some back tightness. So the Kings ended up pulling away in that second half, especially in that fourth quarter. Right now, spread 6.5. I know my boy Dennis is not feeling that. He is not happy about that. The guy I am keeping my eye on tonight is John Collins. If you want to talk about what Utah did in their last time out, we can do that. They beat actually the Mavericks. Mavericks not playing well right now. They beat the Mavericks in Utah. If we look at the box score, let me see if I can pull that up for everybody. Here we go. Lowry only had 13. You got 28 from John Collins, the guy that I keep talking about. Filipowski, 14. He's a big dude. He sets some hard screens. That's why I still think the Kings are going to need somebody on the perimeter to really be busting through those. Colin Sexton, 16. And here's the wild card. Keontae George. Remember in the preseason, he lit the Kings up from beyond the arc. He is the guy that you cannot go under on the perimeter. You got to watch him. He had 14 in that game. Cody Williams, the rookie from Colorado, still getting acquainted off of the bench, but they did get 20 off the bench from Jordan Clarkson in this one. So Utah won that one 115-113. It was a close game. So anyways, we know what the Kings need to do. It is energy, and I hope that the crowd tonight at the G1C, if you are at the game, bring it. Bring it for that team, even if it's the littlest thing. Pick them up. And who knows? They may come out riding high on some momentum. You're going to have some guys that get some opportunities for extended minutes that don't usually do that. And we've seen other teams this season against the Kings, Toronto being one of them in Toronto, with guys that got opportunities for extended time and not looking over their shoulder, being afraid about being pulled out, and they played well. So if you're the Kings, you're hoping a lot of your guys do that as well. Donald hopping in. Ellis has less than 1 assist per game this season. What are you expecting from Keon? Keon's not a playmaker. He is a finisher. He is a defensive player. The only stat that I am looking at for Keon Ellis, I'm looking at his defensive stats, I'm looking at his turnovers, and I'm looking at his three-point percentage. Coach Brown, the one thing that he was not happy with last night was guys challenging Rudy Gobert at the rim. De'Aaron alluded to it as well. I get it. There's a balance between this whole spray theory that Mike Brown likes to talk about very much almost every time that he comes to the podium. But, you don't want to pass up a wide open layup to spray the ball out. But if you have a Wemby in there, if you have a Rudy Gobert in there, it's good to spray. Keon made a couple of those mistakes last night. So I got it, man. That's not his game. It's not where it's going to come from. He's going to be the guy getting the basket and giving the assist to somebody else. Let's see, Island Girls, LOL. So who are the Island Girls? Expecting a lot of 3-point shooting from Fox. Doubt he'll be crashing the paint. David, I don't know. If what De'Aaron says is true and his legs are there and he's not feeling too bad, I don't think Utah's going to come out and blitz him or trap him or anything like that. But if his legs are still there, I expect him, because this is now 2 games in a row that we have seen the De'Aaron Fox that is the best version of De'Aaron Fox. And in both of those games, we saw the rest of the Kings respond. We saw a different version. And mind you, last night was without DeMar DeRozan, which changes things significantly for the Kings offensively. So he's strong. He's long. Did he come to get the friction? Adam? Damn! Adam, go back to bed, dude. What, Adam? He's strong. He's long. Did he come to get the friction on? Adam, this is not the Haunted Horse Show. This is the pregame show on If You Don't Like That, Adam. Come on, my man. Gosh, Adam. Fox is strong. Yeah, my island boy. Okay, who are I know who the island boys are. All right, you guys are. All right, I got you. Lowry scored 7 points in about 18 minutes last game against the Kings. He was not looking good, and that's why he did not play the second half. So I put no stock into what he did statistically. He is a slasher. Now, he likes to shoot the 3. He can shoot the 3 ball well, but he will cut back door. He will make you defend. And so that's the kind of wild card about him. If he's feeling right, and remember, he was actually questionable. He was a game time decision last night, and then that changed earlier today to available. They upgraded him straight to available, no questionable, anything like that. So I want to see how he's going to do. Dennis Keys, just win. If you can find a way, dude, come on, Dennis. Dennis, we are not here to get you your spread. We don't talk about the Kings stats, ATS, my man. I hope your bet pays off. But, dude, Dennis, all this talk about this bet, I'm going to call you out. Do you have more than $10 on it? Don't be coming up here and be like, oh, man, I can't believe I got the line at 9.5. Now it's 6.5. No Domas. Like, it's cool if you want to do that if you got like $100 on the game. But dude, if you got like $10 on the game, come on, Dennis, come on, my man. Make baskets. Yeah, Furious Wolf, right? Anybody that can sit here and lay out like, oh, this is going to be the mismatch of the game. This is going to be. They're guessing. This is not a good basketball team in Utah, and this is a tired and injured basketball team with Sacramento. So the last times that we've seen Sacramento tired, they get sloppy. And that is the big thing. If the Kings do anything like they did against Phoenix, where they were just giving the ball away, they were putting it on a platter, that's a problem. But I would expect, especially because, again, the Kings have one creator tonight. One, De'Aaron Fox. Everybody else on this roster, maybe Keegan Murray. You know what? I'll give Keegan Murray a half. You have 1.5 creators tonight. So you're going to probably see for the Kings offensive possessions that go late into the shot clock, which I'm okay with. I don't have a problem with that because of who they have personnel-wise. Tonight, what was the creativity? What did I do? Is this a McDermott heater game? It very well could be. Good question, Con. Good question, Abraham. It's going to be an everybody game. Now, if you want to take guesses on who you think is going to be on a heater, it's going to probably have to be somebody. It is going to have to be somebody besides De'Aaron. It's going to have to be De'Aaron and somebody else. Probably Keegan Murray. Remember, Keegan likes playing against Utah. His big game was against Utah. Keegan plays well against the Jazz. So maybe I'm pointing my eyes Keegan's direction. And I'm thinking it's going to be him. Maybe De'Aaron Fox's comments telling him to shoot the effing ball. Maybe that fires Keegan up. Maybe when De'Aaron walked by his locker last night and he's like, 60, bitch, right? Like maybe Keegan's now like, you know what? 61. Maybe we'll get a smile out of Keegan too. Wouldn't that be amazing if that record was broken in back-to-back nights? That would be incredible. Don't forget, we are here all night for you. Jerry Reynolds is going to be with us at halftime. Looking forward to that. He will come on, let us know what he's thinking about the first half, the first 24 minutes, give us his keys to the second half. Also, we'll get your final score predictions. Hopefully, we are talking about a entertaining basketball game. That's what I'm hoping for. Last night was a funky basketball game. It really started flowing and the pace got high halfway through the third quarter. But up until that point, it was a funky game to watch. Hopefully it's not that way tonight. Hopefully there's some flow to this game. And then don't forget, post game, we wrap it up for you. Grant and I will be taking your calls and hopefully talking about a Saturday night beam for the Kings. Love to be talking about a beam tonight for them. All right, let's get your final scores in here. What are you guys thinking final score wise tonight? What's it going to be? Coach Brown likes big centers and he Adam, penalty box, dude. You are in the penalty box. You're lucky I don't have the audio. Keegan, definitely 7-leg parlay. Holy crap. You are in haunted horse territory. Unbelievable. Good for you. All right. Let's see. Get your scores in here. I'm trying to, I know he's trying to be a degenerate. Furious Wolf, 116, 110 Kings. I just don't know. I mean, 6.5. Let's put it this way. The Kings are either going to win by 20. It's either going to be 20 or it's going to be like 2. I don't think it's going to be anything in between. If the Kings win. If the Kings lose, I think it's probably going to be lopsided. But again, John Collins, that's the problem. You've had Kings get into foul trouble. You don't have that luxury tonight. You have to play somehow physical without fouling. Look, you've got guys out there on the bench that are going to have to be fresh, that can be fresh. Mike Brown's just going to have to get creative with his rotations. And again, if you want one exotic key from me tonight, I gave it to you already. To me, the biggest key for this game, because of the personnel, is Coach Brown. Coach Brown needs to coach a very good game tonight and probably take a little bit more control over that offense than we normally see. I want to see more pin down screens. I want to see more sets out of timeouts. That is going to be imperative. To me, you just have to do it because when we saw the Kings last year, this is basically what we saw the second half of the season last year. This is that Sacramento Kings team again. In fact, it's a Kings team that's not as good as that team because you don't have Davion Mitchell. So what I'm saying is Coach Brown coached a different style during that time. He addressed things differently offensively for those guys. So you can't play with the same rules that you play with when you have DeMar, when you have Domas, you have Monk. Now, you play with the same principles. Those never change. But you got to make a few tweaks here and there. And to me, it is a little bit more structure. So one thing I can promise you, win or lose, your Sunday is going to be awesome. If you go check out Bennett's West Side Grill or any of their other 2 locations in the greater Sacramento area for brunch. Does anybody have plans to go to brunch tomorrow at Bennett's? Definitely my favorite place in Sacramento to go spend a Sunday morning or a Sunday early afternoon. You can get a bottle of champagne and 2 entrees for under $50. They've got beautiful patios if you like sitting outside, TVs, Obviously, some football, 49ers Seahawks tomorrow, y'all. I know most of you are Niner fan, but you've got a full slate of good games. And if you want to watch some football and make the wife happy at the same time, get her some mimosas, get some damn good food, watch some football, and enjoy the patio at Bennett's. Go to bennettsrestaurants.com. You can learn more about all of their different offerings, prime cuts of seafood and steak. Also, don't forget prime rib running through tomorrow, weekend prime rib. And during the week, happy hour, 2 to 6 o'clock. Their sips and tastes, 60 different wines by the glass. Yes, 60 different wines by the glass. And if you are one of those families or one of those people that do not like cooking on Thanksgiving, Bennett's has your back. They are going to be taking pre-orders for full holiday hot and fresh meals. They will take care of the work. All you got to do is pick it up. Or if you want to go out to eat, they will be open on Thanksgiving Day as well. If you go to bennettsrestaurants.com, you can make reservations. You can check out the menus. You can buy gift cards and much more. Huge thanks to Brian, Margot, and the entire team at Bennett's for sponsoring the pregame show tonight. And when you go in, let them know that you heard about them here on If You Don't Like That. We would greatly appreciate that. And if you have not already, do us a favor and subscribe. Not only do we do 3 shows every single time the Kings play, but we have a ton of other content during the week and on the weekends. Wednesdays, Sean Salisbury comes on the channel to talk NFL football and college football with Grant. We also have our weekly Kings Roundtable on Wednesdays with Jerry Reynolds and a lot of other stuff. So go check it out. I am sure you will probably like it and find something that you will enjoy that's tailor fit to you. A lot of Scott Pollard was on not too long ago, right after his heart transplant. That was amazing. And also the King's Court. It lives on If You Don't Like That. Now, the audio home, scan that QR code. That will take you to my X page. You can find the links for Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcasts. King's Court, usually Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 1 o'clock, 1 to 2:30. And then you also get additional audio from me. What I'm hearing from the team on the mornings, I will upload a short podcast for everybody. Get you ready for the day ahead in terms of the Kings. And we talk other stuff besides Kings. So check it out. It is a fun show. A lot of you already do. That's why I'm giving Adam a hard time. Patrick, my man in Long Island, he's a King's Quarter. Appreciate him. Thoughts on Pac-Man getting arrested at Paul Tyson? Wait, Adam, I'm not supposed to be. You're in the penalty box, dude. Okay, I got to start looking at names before I go here. I didn't know he got arrested. Going to brunch and Ubering home. There you go, BJ. That is what I'm talking. Dude, I might meet you out there, my man. Bennett's was good. Donald went a little pricey for some things, but worth it. Fair enough. That's why I say the specials. Monday nights, you can get 2 entrees, good entrees, by the way, and a bottle of wine, $70, under $70. So there are some very good deals. And Donald, you would say this, the portion sizes are freaking big too. Cheers. Will Len start again? You know, it's a good question. Yes, I think he will with Filipowski starting. The John Collins matchup, that's going to be more of a Trey Lyles matchup. Maybe a little bit of Keegan Murray too. But look, there's mismatches everywhere. I think the zone defense for the Kings is, and you're not going to play it all night, but the zone will be a nice change. You just got to cover that weak side. It's really important to cover that weak side and not give up offensive boards. I hate to say it, but the Kings probably won't have enough tonight. Jazz 112, Kings 104. Roar Ryan in Sacktown. Appreciate you, Frog. Yeah. Buy a prediction. He doesn't need to buy a prediction. Donald, my brother and his family went to the game tonight. I want the Kings to win extra bad for sure. You know what? I think it'll be a fun game. I don't think it's going to be a snoozer. Again, I go back to the point that you have guys getting extended minutes that don't usually do. There's going to be a lot of excitement because of what happened last night. Fans are going to be jazzed up from the start because of De'Aaron. In fact, getting ready to do the intros right now at the G1C. I think it's going to be a fun time. Now, are the Kings going to win? I don't know. I honestly think it's a coin flip. I really think it's a coin flip simply because of the emotion of last night. And then you throw Domas being out of the mix. It's going to be tough. Can they get it done? Absolutely. They can get it done. We'll talk about it more at the half. Thank you guys all for being here for the pregame show. I very much appreciate it. Don't forget, Grant and Jerry, let's effing go. Indeed.
Acknowledge me.
My pleasure. Furious, my pleasure. Hopefully we get one of these tonight. I would love to see Keegan Murray just dunk on somebody like Ant did last night. Herter will surprise. There you go. Look, Herter, I'm not going to call him a creator, but 2 games ago against Phoenix, he was really good. But Mike Brown doesn't want you going amongst the trees and shooting over guys. He wants it sprayed. Look, take care of the ball. I talk all the time until I'm blue in the face about ball pressure, even if it is just kind of a little bit of mock pressure. But when the Kings pick up teams at the half court, when they pick them up free throw line extended, it changes the formula defensively and for offensively for the other teams. Sometimes it makes them, even though the Kings aren't pressuring them that hard, it makes them initiate their offense from different spots that they don't want to initiate from, or the spots they don't normally initiate from. And so if the Kings can do that tonight, I think it's going to be fun. Now, we'll see. 24 minutes. Jerry Reynolds will be here and talking about it. We'll have a better idea then. So join us again at the halftime. Jerry will be here. We're looking forward to it. Grant will be here as well. I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. Big thanks to Bennett again for sponsoring tonight's pregame show. It's such a funny drop from De'Aaron. You know, that's the second F-bomb De'Aaron's dropped in 24 hours. When he saw Roy Al for the first time, he dropped an F-bomb at shoot around too. So I guess when you drop 60, you are allowed to drop an F-bomb or two. But hey, thanks for letting me into your homes, your houses, your cars, wherever you may be. It is not something that I take for granted. So thank you all very much. Have a great first half. We will see you at the half with Grant and Jerry right here on If You Don't Like That. So long.